Guys, what's going on? Just a quick thought on my third visit here in Seoul this time. So it's been nearly 3 months, and I've been here a couple times before, but only this time did this thought come to mind. And it was that Seoul is slightly more Chinese than I remember. So I know sometimes people don't like, being compared to other places, cultures, or whatever, in particular, maybe sometimes China. But that's really the thought that I got, and I mean that just like in a good way, like in a cute way. I'll give some examples so you'll know what I'm talking about. But earlier on when I got here, before I got really busy and stopped kind of going out and exploring, I was going around town and I noticed a few things. One, it's slightly disorganized here in Seoul, so you'll notice if you're coming from, I don't know, a different place. I know Japan is one that sticks out easily. Then when you come to here, you'll think, oh man, things are a little like all over the place. Nothing's organized, and who knows who's doing what. So a good example of that that you'll probably see is like cars parked on the sidewalk. Um, I guess they call it pavement in other places, but you would never see that in Japan or some. I would say most cities in the U.S. too, or Europe and other places. And so it's just kind of funny when you see a huge SUV just taking up all the space on the sidewalk, and there's hardly any room to walk for the rest of us pedestrians. Another thing that hit me was I walked by one day, and they love to make kimchi here. And one of the main ingredients they need is these chilies. They have to be sun dried. Anyway, sometimes the old ajoshi ladies, they just lay out a huge sheet or like a mat on the sidewalk, and they put like 500 chilies just like there on the sidewalk. Which, and it's kind of random. It's just like one of those crazy things that you'll see in Asia and definitely China. China has a lot of that wow factor when you're basically just going through your day like normal and you see something and it's like you've been woken up in the middle of your day. Like, what is that? What is going on? Like a guy riding a three-wheeled bicycle with like a two-story bag of trash on the back of his tiny bike or something like that. Anyway, so stuff like that, just like random, half a thousand chilies out in the sun. I saw another old lady. She was carrying a bag of these chilies. I guess they had recently been finished, sun drying on her back, and it looked like the bag was about the same size as her. No exaggeration. And even sometimes, just like walking through the urban streets of Seoul, if you've stayed in Shanghai before, you'll notice like even the layout and the structure of the sidewalks is somewhat similar. I don't know if they use the same color patterns or they have some sort of pattern on like the top of the surface of these cement blocks. But if you spent time in Seoul and Shanghai, you'll know what I'm talking about. Even the price for these two places, Seoul and Shanghai in particular, is quite similar. I don't think there's a huge difference. Maybe just a little marginally more in Shanghai. But anyways, those are a few examples of why I thought, this time around on my third trip, that Seoul is a little more Chinese than I remember. And again, I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just, obviously places that are neighbors, for example, like the US and Mexico, they're going to have some overlap. They're going to share some culture. They're going to share some patterns and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I just said 25%. Who really knows? But it's just something cute or fun, interesting that I've noticed. Anyways, let's talk soon, guys. Take care.